Ever feel like time slows down when things get a little, dicey?
Oh,
Just like
absolutely.
you're driving, hit a slick patch, and suddenly everything's in slow-mo. That Matrix moment. That's what we're diving into today.
I love it.
We're looking at why time seems to warp when things get tense, and we've got some fascinating articles from Psychology Today and Live Science to help us out.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Feels like you can bend time, but it's really all about how our brains, how they make memories, especially under pressure.
Exactly. The Psychology Today article even had this anecdote about the author, right? Their car skidded on a wet road.
Oh, no.
And they were saying it felt like time stretched, giving them this, like, weird sense of calm to regain control. Like
Ah,
those slow-mo fight scenes in The Matrix, but in real life.
totally. But here's the thing, right? It's not like folks are breaking the laws of physics, but there is some science to this whole matrix effect thing.
Yeah.
People used to think our brains just, like, went into overdrive from the adrenaline, like everything speeds up.
Yeah, makes sense.
But the Live Science article actually kind of debunks that.
Oh, really? What's going on then?
So they did this wild experiment, drop people from a height into a safety net.
Wait, seriously, they did that?
Yeah. They used this thing called a perceptual chronometer to see if people could, like, process things visually faster during free fall.
Okay.
And guess what? They couldn't. Brains weren't actually speeding up.
So if it's not our brains working faster, why does everything feel slow-mo?
It's all about memory, you see.
Yeah.
How our brains choose to remember, especially the scary stuff. Both articles talk about the amygdala, the part of your brain dealing with emotions, like fear.
Okay.
And when something scary happens, it's like this part of your brain goes into overdrive, making super detailed memories.
So it's like our brain hits record, but switches to, like, HD mode.
Exactly. And get this, that super detailed memory, all those vivid bits crammed together, that's what makes us think the event took longer when we remember it. Time itself doesn't actually slow down. It's more like we're remembering it in such detail that it feels longer.
Yeah.
Imagine flipping through a photo album, right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
A normal day might be a few snapshots,
Hmm.
but a super memorable event, something scary, exciting, that's a whole section of the album.
Oh, yeah. Full page spreads, captions, the works.
Right. So when you look back, all those details make it feel like it unfolded way slower than it actually did.
So our brains are kind of playing tricks on us, making us think time warped when it's just how we remember things.
Exactly. And this actually helps explain why time seems to speed up as we get older.
Oh, man, tell me about it. It's like life's on fast forward after a certain age.
Right. And it's so common, and it all goes back to memory. When you're a kid, everything's new, exciting.
Yeah.
New stuff's hitting your brain all the time, and it's all getting that HD recording, those super vivid details.
Makes sense. So as we get older, we just have fewer of those first-time moments.
Exactly. As adults, life gets kind of routine. We've seen it, done it, or at least it feels that way, right? So there are fewer of those really new, surprising things that get the amygdala. Remember that part of the brain?
Yeah, the memory part.
Right. So fewer things get that part firing, making those strong memories.
Yeah.
Fewer full-page spreads in the old mental photo album, so to speak.
So fewer HD recordings as we age, fewer detailed memories, and our brains see those sparser memories as time going faster.
Exactly. We're not actually traveling through time faster. It's that our record of time, those memories, become less detailed, so it feels faster.
That's actually a relief. I was going to ask about time turners next.
Right. But seriously, it is wild how something as basic as how many new things we experience can change how we sense time.
Wild is right. We started with time slowing down in crazy moments, but this matrix effect, this memory time link, it affects how we see our whole lives. The intense moments and just like everyday life.
Totally. Makes you think, right? If our brains are always messing with our sense of time, how much can we trust our memories? Are they really accurate or just how we experience time?
Whoa, that's deep. Because our memories are tied to how we feel time, and time can be, like, flexible, then maybe those memories aren't so reliable after all.
Exactly. Neuroscientists are still trying to figure that out. But it's a fascinating thing to think about, isn't it? If time can feel like it bends and stretches based on our experiences, what does that mean for how accurate those memories actually are? Are they objective records or just our subjective take filtered through this lens of how we personally experience time?
Now, that is a mind-blowing thought. It's like we're each living in our own little matrix. Not the sci-fi kind, but in the sense that our brains create this unique reality for each of us, including how we experience time.
And maybe how we experience time is as much something our minds create as it is a fundamental part of the universe. We think of time as this rigid external force, but what if it's way more fluid and subjective than we realize?
Makes you rethink everything we think we know, huh? Like, we all talk about time travel, but what if we're already kind of doing it? Just by living and remembering, you know?
It really is. Makes you appreciate how powerful our brains are, but also how limited our own view of things can be.
Mm-hmm.
We get so stuck on time being this fixed, absolute thing, but maybe it's not as straightforward as that.
It does make you want to appreciate those HD moments even more, you know? Sounds like the more we can get our brains to really capture those experiences, the richer our experience of time is going to be overall.
Absolutely. And if you think about it practically, if we know our brains are wired to grab onto those vivid new experiences so strongly, well, we could use that to our advantage,
Oh,
right?
I like where you're going with this. How so?
Well, say you feel like time's just flying by.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe try actually creating a matrix moment.
Mm-hmm.
Engage all your senses. Really zero in on the details of what you're seeing, feeling, experiencing in that moment.
I'm listening.
By really focusing on all those details, you're basically giving your amygdala, that memory center, more to work with, right? Creating a much richer memory. And who knows, it might even make that moment feel a little longer too.
I love that. A little mind hack for stretching out time. That's a great takeaway. Well, it seems like we've successfully navigated this deep dive into the fascinating world of how we experience time and memory.
It has been fascinating, hasn't it?
Big thanks to you for being here and to everyone listening out there. Remember, next time you feel like time is getting away from you, try slowing down, really experiencing the moment, and building those memory-rich moments. Your brain will thank you.